Good evening. My team is making effort to make the manure heap. What I mean to say is we have a lot of leaf litter, dry and semi-dry, and half decomposed leaf litter, which is fallen, which has outcome of autumn ambience. We get plenty of that, and semi-dry, and a lot of leaves will get cut because we have high canopies. The twigs and all will fall and would automatically get some damages do occur. That can be managed very well by using the natural resources. Now we have heaped up, the heap is almost around 4 feet high. We have done even 10 feet high heap also. Symbolically I am trying to take the videograph so that it will become useful for the people who want to decompose their biological or natural waste. What we are doing, forefront we are planting perennial plants like alocasia, and we are, since it is an ornamental garden, we are trying to use the ornamental plants. Same thing can be done with the herbs and kitchen garden also. If we have the resources, we can use in any way that which is useful for our consumption, everything. So here we are basically into landscaping. That's why we are trying to manage the thing with natural resources. My team is going to make the excess growth. We have made a cuttings. Kumar sir, melek hogli madu, kelag bada, melek hogli. Melek hakama, melinda ba. ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಮ್ಮ, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಕೆಸಿ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಎಗ್ಲನಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹಾಕೋಣ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ. ಇದು ಹೈಟ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ, ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಾ. The dracaenas, which are around 6 feet high, we are planting on the heap. So my own concept is the compost pit, compost heap rather, in this case, should not look like a compost heap. It should look like a natural landscape. It should be part of the landscape. That's why we are trying to accomplish this task in a very easy and subtle way. The whole transformation would take maximum around 15 to 20 minutes or max around half an hour. ನೋಡಮ್ಮ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಹೈಟ್ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಮ್ಮ. ನಿಮ್ಗಿಂತ ಹೈಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೈಟ್ ಇದೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೀವು ಅರೌಂಡ್ 5.5 ಅಡಿ ಇದಿಲ್ವಾ, 5 ಅಡಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ, ಇದು 6 ಅಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದಲ್ವಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಕೊಡಿ ನೀವು ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್ಗೆ. ಗಿಡ ಹೈಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೊಡಿ. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಬೇಕು ಜಾಗ, ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ ಥರ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಓಕೆ. This side, Kumar is around 36 years experience he has got in the landscaping. He worked with my father also, and we are trying to transform the place in a short while. Kumar sir, ಈ ಕಡ್ಡಿನ ಒಣಗಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಹಾಕಮ್ಮ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರ್ಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದೊಡ್ಡಿನ ತರಿಸಮ್ಮ. ಮೇಲೆ ಬಾಳೆ ಗಿಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾ? And this is a new team with the same Kumar's guidance. Lakshmanaran is our new supervisor, who is enthusiastic young man. With this we have 3 more team members. We are trying to do as natural as possible. Let's see in a while how the change is going to happen. Lakshmanaran ಅವರೇ, ಒಣಗರೆಲ್ಲ ತೆಗ್ಸಮ್ಮ. ದೊಡ್ಡ ನೋಡಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದೊಡ್ಡ ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ತೆಗಿಯಮ್ಮ. ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದೇ ಸತಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗಬೇಕಿಲ್ವಾ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ವರಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ರೈಟ್. Here we have a ground level reservoir tanks. This point is a higher elevation compared to the rest of the hotel. This is the second highest point. Highest is the southeast. This is the southwestern part. We have old reservoir tanks from where the municipal water connection. Other side of the road we have a race course. Besides race course, we have high point reservoir tanks also, where the water gets collected from the natural lakes like Hesargatta Lake. And we have at Magadi area, Tippakonhalli is another huge reservoir, which is a natural reservoir for the state. And Sir Visvesvaraya originally designed the waterways for the Bangalore. It is like a plateau around 3,000 feet high from the mean sea level. Since this is the highest point of the Bangalore originally, there are a lot of higher points now. The originally core of Bangalore, this is the highest point. Malleshwaram, Majestic, all are adjoining areas. Bangalore is also called not only Garden City, it is also called City of Lakes. During the rainy season, all the water which is precipitated by the God's grace in the form of rain would get collected into the catchments and rivulets and rivers, lakes right around the Bangalore, which was more than 1,000 lakes were there in the beginning of the Bangalore area, which is a blessing from the nature. And planning of Sir Visvesvaraya, the waterways. Now, unfortunately, we have misused them. That's a different part altogether. Therefore, the water is very easy here. That time, the system is we need to pump up to the reservoir tanks, and from there we use for the hotel operations. In this case, we have reduced the depth of the reservoir tanks for various reasons. Now we need to develop the landscape on the concrete slab. That's why we are adopting this method. In landscape, everything is natural. So this is another reason why we are adding this, to get the lightweight. We should not tamper the concrete slab. We should not load it up. That's why we are using the dry leaves, which will contribute to a couple of centimeters of biomass, and it will be lighter. If you put the soil, it will become heavy. Therefore, we are not adding the soil much. Only a couple of centimeters we will add on the top, which is negligible when compared to. So let us see my team's effort to transform the place in a short while. On the heap, they are going to add tall statured plants like Dracena essentiana and other plants. Gradually, we will add the Diphyllonemas, Aglaonemas, Alocaceas. There are many ornamental plants which we are going to add. And as a ground cover, we are going to use even Vedelia, Eranthemums, and many other plants we have got. We have got around 450 to 500 different kinds of ornamental flora. And we have birds of around 150 species across the country. Everything will contribute to make the ecosystem in a very subtle and planned way to establish. We have even buried the logs which were trimmed, which are dried up and trimmed. That also get buried and made into excellent manure. So whatever God has created, that can be made into manure. Unfortunately, what we are creating, we have yet to find the solutions to resolve. Fortunately, I'm putting my mind only in making into the biomass, which is natural, and we will transform the space. So already shaping up. Lakshmanare, ಅದಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಕವರ್ನ ಹಾಕ್ಸಮ್ಮ. ಕೂಡಲೇ ತಗೊಂಡು ಇದು ಉಳಿಲಿನ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಸಿ. ಇದು ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ ಅಂತಾರ, ಈಗ ಏನು ಕಸ ತೊಟ್ಟಿ ಅಂತಾರ. ಇಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಕಂಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪಿಟ್, ನೋ ಕಂಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಹೀಪ್. ಇದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕಂಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪಿಟ್ ಹೀಪು, ಬಟ್ ಕಂಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಹೀಪ್ ಥರ ಇರೋಲ್ಲ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಹಾಂ, ನೀರು ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಕ್ಲರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಕ್ಲರ್ನು. ಇದು ಆ್ಯಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ವಾ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? ಓಕೆ. ಇದು ನನಗೆ ವೈಟ್ ಥ್ರೆಡ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು, ಕಪ್ಪು ದಾರ ಕಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾನೇನು ಇರೋದು ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮಂತ ನೀವೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಆ ಥರ ಹಾಳಾಗಿದೆ ಗರಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕಿ. ಆವಾಗ ಇದು ಸೆಮಿ ಡ್ರೈ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಮಾಯ್ಶ್ಚರಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಗ ಕೊಳ್ದೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ, ಅದು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಗರಿಯೆಲ್ಲ ತೆಗಿಮ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸೆಮಿ ಹಾಳಾಗಿದ್ದು ಗರಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವ, ಅದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೂಡಲಿಂದ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಸಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲವು ಸಾವು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಗರಿ ಎಳಿಸಿ ಹಾಳಾಗಿದ್ದು ಗರಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್ವರ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ತಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗಿಂತ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರು ಯಾರು? ಗಣೇಶ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಮತ್ತು ನೀವು ತಲೆ ಓಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಂ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸು. ಸಾರಿ, ಬನ್ನಿ, ಇದು ನೆಲಕೇಶನ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ನೋಡಿ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಡ್ಡಿ ಬಿದ್ದು ಹಾಳಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇದು ಮಡಿಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ? ಗಣೇಶ್ವರ, ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್ವರ, ಬೇಗ ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹಾಳಾಗಿದೆ, ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಈಗ ಬೇಗ ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಆಗತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಂ, ಹಾಕಿ ಸರ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕಮ್ಮ. ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಕುಮಾರ್, ಅದಿಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ, ಇದು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಿ. ಆಯಿತು, ಈ ಗರಿನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕಮ್ಮ. ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ. ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಪುಟ್ ದಿ ಸೆಮಿ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ಸೆಮಿ yellow leaves, the moisture content is high, so it will contribute to digest pretty faster. Moisture levels are very essential to decompose. There are 3 components which are essential to decompose: microflora, denitrifying microflora, then you need a moisture, you need sunlight also. Here in this case, both anaerobic and aerobic bacteria would contribute in their own role. A money plant gari ಎಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆಸಮ್ಮ. ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ, ಅದನ್ನು ಆ ಗರಿನ ಎತ್ತಮ್ಮ. ಅಶೋಕ ಗರಿ ಇದಲ್ವ, ಅದನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಅದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಹಾಕಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಗೂಡೆ ತೆಗೋ, ಗೋಡೆಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಲಾಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಿ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಇದನ್ನು ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸರಿನಾ ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್? ಹಾಂ, ಈ ಕಡೆನೇ ಇದಮ್ಮ, ಈ ಗರಿನ ಎತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಅದು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬನ್ನಿ. ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್, ಆ ಬಾಳೆಗರಿ ಹಾಳಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ತೆಗೆಸಮ್ಮ. Actually, I'm currently standing on the overhead tank. Sorry, ground level reservoir tank. This is a chamber. To camouflage the chamber, we have grown the Buddleia and Graptophyllum. Sorry, Pseudoeranthemum. And these roots, mighty roots, what you are seeing, they are the roots of Ficus macrophylla. Ficus macrophylla is on the ground. As it spreads the branches, it sets the counter roots to balance the tree on the surface. And some cases it will turn into buttress roots also eventually. Nature is amazing. We have got a lot of leaf litter, which is all going to get into excellent manure. If you burn it, we will have a suffocation. The greenhouse gases would release into atmosphere. We will not be able to breathe, and it will cause a lot of havoc. What we have experienced in Delhi last year should never repeat back. Agriculture waste or crop residues should be buried. We should never burn them. Any biomass, if you burn, it will lead to leaving the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Nitrogen is a major contributor into the air, which is very, very valued. That should never get burnt. It should be buried and made with the help of nitrifying bacteria. The atmospheric nitrogen can be fixed into the soil. If you open out, denitrifying bacteria would be active and will release back nitrogen from the soil into the atmosphere, which is dangerous. You should always conserve. If you utilize the help of denitrifying bacteria, and the many bacterial colonies will die up, when we plow or when we burn. When we burn, it will become totally along, only minerals will remain, nothing else will remain. All nitrogenous matter, which is major component of the soil among the NPK, that will lead into ashes. The macro nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus and potash, out of that potash and what you call uh, potash and phosphorus would be there, but nitrogen will be liberated into the atmosphere, which is not a right sign. So we need to manage the nature as natural as possible, so that whatever God has given us, we should enjoy, and we should let live entire ecosystem. Conserving the ecosystem is the easiest job if you really think so, and if you put all our minds and efforts, that will all become saved automatically. If we mismanage or misuse our resources, we will suffer and suffocate the rest of the animal kingdom. We should be blessed to the nature, should never become a burden to the nature. God has given everything. We have higher education, basic education to the higher education, everything we have, but we are not utilizing our efficiency in a right manner. That is the main challenge today we are facing. Many of us, we know what to do, but still we neglect. If we all focus our minds and souls, our time, money, everything in a natural way, we can rebuild the ecosystem in a very short while. Thank you, Kumar sir. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ರುದ್ರಪ್ಪ ಅವರು, ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣಮೂರ್ತಿ, ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್.